We're the voices of experiencers, and we are the experiencers of extraterrestrials. Just what's out there in the abyss, in the darkness of the unknown. It's time for disclosure and it's time for truth, because what lies in the darkness brings powerful transformation. We're the bridge between two different worlds, with one foot in this reality and one in the next. The shift is here, along with profound integration. Just who are extraterrestrials and what are their plans? It's time to find out with the Voices of Contact.
We are the voices of experiencers because we are the experiencers. It's time for disclosure and it's time for truth, because truth brings powerful transformation, and we are the voices of change. We are all about evolution on an expansive level, living life without fear and becoming the bridge between two different realities. Profound evolution is here. Profound integration is here. This is the Voices of Contact. Hi, everyone. I'm Mary. I'm a channeler and psychic medium. I'm also a hypnosis regressionist for ET experiencers, and I work with MUFON doing regression work. I also work with PTSD experiencers, paranormal experiencers, and victims of crime to assist them in recall. I'm really looking forward to another amazing show with our panel tonight, where we delve deep to find out what's happening beyond the stars. Thank you all for joining us as we take an extensive dive into the whole new reality. There is so much more out there than we realize, and until now, we have only scratched the surface. Come with us as we explore the darkness of the universe and shed some light on the extraterrestrial experience. Disclosure is here. Now, allow me to introduce some of my most favorite people who are part of tonight's panel. First, there's Deb and RJ DeRoos. They're authors, paranormal and UFO researchers, and they're experiencers themselves. They're founders of the Michigan UFO Contact that happens every year in Houghten Lake, Michigan at the end of September. And they're also owners and managers of Mystical Awakenings Radio, Mystical Awakenings Vodcast on YouTube, and of the Mystical Awakenings Metaphysical Store in Houghten Lake, Michigan. Next, we have Deb Jordan Cobble, aka Deb 2. She was the central figure in Bud Hopkins' international bestseller, Intruders, The Incredible Visitations at Copley Woods, which was made actually into a CBS miniseries in 1992. She's co-author of the book Abducted, The Story of the Intruders Continues, and author of Extraordinary Contact, Life Beyond Intruders. She's a former Indiana MUFON investigator and co-founder of her own paranormal group, Paranormal Underground. And she also hosts the Midwest Paratalk podcast with co-founder Greg Cable. And then we have Dana Stricker. She's a born psychic medium, and she has been reading professionally since the age of 15. And while she excels in her psychic and mediumship ability, Dana is also known for her exceptional skills in remote readings. And she's also known and very well established as a medical intuitive. She has also discovered that extraterrestrials now assist her with this special ability. She reads professionally worldwide and has worked nationwide on numerous missing person cases. With the amazing panel that we have tonight, I know that anything is possible and that we are going to get deep down into discovery and find answers to what is really going on out there. This show is all about transmutating the light from the dark and replacing fear with knowledge. Because with knowledge comes true power. And through my regression work, I've come across amazing cases with fascinating clients. And it is my honor to work with them to help them have a better understanding of the contact they've had. Whether they were taken, have had contact in the physical realm, or through a dream state, we're here just to find answers. I'm blessed that my clients have agreed to allow me to use the regressions on the voices of contact. And tonight, this is the place to be, because the panel breaks down my clients' experiences, providing powerful feedback. And I love it because all the listeners get to connect and learn. I get to learn, and the person that was regressed walks away even more immersed in their experience with a whole new perspective on their contact. So literally, it's a win-win, right? This is the Voices of Contact. Hi, everyone. How are you guys tonight?
Hello.
Good.
Good to see everybody.
Mary. Dana. Hi, Deb.
Hey.
Great to see you guys.
Hi, Deb.
All the bright, shiny faces.
Happy, shiny people.
Don't get me singing that, because now that's going to be in my head.
Sorry. Uh-oh.
It's all right.
That'll be her number that she sings for this week.
Yeah.
She has a song for every situation.
But no, I'm glad we're back together and another new show, man.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you guys are going to love this show, the next 2 episodes. So I had a gentleman who came to me to be regressed for the first time. Not sure if it's his first time ever being regressed, but it was his first time being regressed by me. And he wanted to explore an experience he had when he was a little boy. And he was staying up at his grandparents' house in Houghten Lake. So his memory entails getting up in the middle of the night and looking out the window, and in the yard there's a tree, and he can see this person there by the tree with some kind of clothes on that looks like he has a fishing pole that's, obviously not fishing in the water because he's by a tree, right? And when the body turns to him, he can see that it's a gray face with black eyes, but that's all he can remember. So when he sees it, he wakes up his grandfather and has his grandfather come look out the window. And the grandfather doesn't see anything. But as a little boy, he was so disturbed by it, he couldn't sleep the rest of the night. And the next day, he was telling everybody in the household about what he saw. Right. And when he asked his grandfather what if he had seen it, he said he didn't remember anything like that. He doesn't even remember getting up.
So I want to make this clear that he saw this while he was wide awake and not sleeping, right?
He was wide awake because he couldn't sleep for the rest of the night.
Okay. And he saw his grandfather up?
Yes. Yep. He woke his grandfather up.
But Grandpa doesn't remember?
Nope.
Ooh.
And so, just to give you a little bit of feedback, I believe he's in his mid-40s. And so this happened quite a long time ago. We're going to say at least 30 years. At least.
During the 80s, huh? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Interesting. Wow. This is going to be a good one.
You're going to love it.
Or 90s, early 90s. Yeah, early 90s.
Yeah.
No, it was pretty cool. So
we know that the Houghten Lake area is very active. So this is good.
Well, just like when we had the UFO con, we always see something.
Right.
Something always weird happens at UFO con, either in the building itself, but definitely outside. Yeah.
Usually both. Inside and outside.
That's Dandy experiences inside that place.
Yeah. We had somebody just walking down the parking lot and walking down the road for no reason. Remember that?
Yeah. Absolutely.
Just taking it out.
Okay.
Right.
So this first clip, this is where it picks up where, he sees whatever it is out there by the tree and starts to get a closer look at it.
Okay.
And now we're going to go back to the time when you were a young boy and you were at your grandpa's house. And in the middle of the night, you woke up and out the window, you could see a being by the tree that had black eyes. And this was up at Houghten Lake. I want you to look around and tell me what you see for me.
I can see the figure but it's just looking at me. Not moving.
Can you describe what he looks like for me?
I'm just seeing a gray.
What else do you notice about him?
Like a real serious face. That one arm is like bent up.
And what's he doing with that arm?
Looks like making the gesture to like follow.
Okay, so he wants you to follow him?
Yeah.
Okay, so what I would like you to do is go ahead and follow him. Are you there with him now?
I'm following him.
Where are you going?
All I can see is that I'm following him. It's all dark.
Is there anything else you notice around you?
I can see a light off to the left. Like a light bulb.
So it's like a light bulb?
Mm-hmm.
Why don't you do me a favor and ask him where you're going?
You keep saying we came to get you.
Ask him who is we.
You know we are the elders. You know.
So at first, Mary, I didn't think that was you talking.
Really?
Yeah, you sounded different the first like couple sentences. That was crazy.
Wow.
Yeah.
Practicing my voice changes.
Good job, I guess. I didn't notice that. Did not notice that. There's a lot in that for one clip.
Mm-hmm.
He sees that he's supposed to follow. An arm is up, and he's somehow understanding that means follow me, come with me.
Mm-hmm.
So that also tells me this is probably not his first time. And he was a little boy. So I'm thinking, okay, this is something he's probably been doing most of his life. He doesn't seem stressed.
Yeah, I was gonna say, it didn't seem like he was afraid at all.
No.
Did he say the beings say who we are, we're the elders?
Mm-hmm.
So to me that's saying who we are, kiddo. You've seen us before kind of vibe. But that could be Dana's brain. But why would
No, I felt the
say
same
that?
way. You know who we are.
You know who we are. We're the elders. Like
Yeah.
we're
So
playing around. Yeah.
That whole first clip says this isn't his first rodeo.
I kind of wish that graphic you used was the actual picture, because that was a very cute alien being. Massive head, but cute.
So what did he say he saw to the left?
A light.
A light?
Like a light bulb, right?
Yep.
So
Interesting.
a ball of light.
And how old is he during this?
I would say he's probably between the ages of 8 and 13, maybe.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking too.
I mean, old enough to where he's got a
around
cognitive.
10.
He can, he
And
can
that is first
question.
rodeo with this
Yeah.
being. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's almost like the bean said, "About time. Where you been?"
What took you so long?
Yeah.
Why'd you wake up your grandpa? What's going on?
I've been in the air forever.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Tapping his foot and.
Yeah, and it's interesting because if you go back to that, Grandpa must have a connection as well.
There could be a possibility with that, yeah. Yep.
Interesting.
And I wish I knew where that was here in Houghten Lake.
Yeah.
Don't look up
Yeah,
at
that's a
me.
little
I'll
town,
figure
right?
it out.
Well, it's a long town. It's like 8
Hmm.
miles long.
But you're underneath Mary, so when you said that, you were looking kind of up, like you were looking at Mary. Like, I wish I would know who it is in Houghten Lake. Like, she's not going to tell
I
you.
don't want to know who, but yes, location for sure. For sure.
Yeah. Interesting.
Yeah.
And this was back in the 90s, you said?
Well, it'd be early 90s or
Not
30
that
years
long
ago.
ago.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Maybe longer. Wow. Yeah, I want more.
Yes, me too.
Mhm.
And so for this next one, I asked him, to ask, well, who are the elders and exactly where they're taking him.
Good.
And who are the elders?
I don't know. It seems blocked. I keep hearing that we came to get you.
Okay, so ask them where they're taking you.
We've been here many times to take you home.
Where's home?
He said, lead the way.
And so do you lead the way?
And I got like real heavy feeling when he said, like, I still feel super heavy now.
Okay. We're going to clear out some of that heaviness so that you can feel and see clearly. And on the count of 3, I want you to be at the place where he's taking you. And on the count of 3, you're going to be where he's taking you. 1, 2, 3. And you're there now. Take a look around and tell me what you notice.
I'm getting ready to, I was getting ready to hear that.
Yeah,
You always
Mary,
cut it
your
off
voice
right when I'm
sounded.
like getting into it.
Yeah, Mary, your voice sounded higher pitched too, Mary. Again in this one, like I'm like, damn. That's
So do you guys get a sense that maybe, and RJ picked up on it too, maybe they're working with Mary, and that's what's altering her voice a bit?
I don't know, maybe because you definitely sounded like a different person than that. The beginning.
You're going to have to wait until probably the 4th clip and then next week's episode.
Oh, geez.
What?
Well, actually, not next week's episode, but like probably because I still have to. We still have to go over his subconscious part, and that's where it gets really interesting.
Yeah, you sound like you're a young lady, real young lady. Like your voice hasn't changed yet.
I know, we don't want to ask or know or say who this is, but is this someone that you have known?
Nope.
Do you have any memory of him?
No, first time I've ever seen his face.
Wow.
Maybe he's not who he says he is. Maybe.
There's something.
I
We'll get it, but there's something.
We'll get it.
They're working.
This is like a good one, but you're cutting it off right when I'm getting like into it.
She's gotten so good at that.
I know.
Well, and I'll give you a little hint about like the subconscious part. So when I tapped into the subconscious, I started communicating with ET again, and their reply was, "You've asked us that same question before."
Oh.
So
Same people then.
So it's it's someone that you have directly worked with. So,
but a different person.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Oh.
Just connect the dots.
And all they did was laugh at me and still not answer the question, but whatever.
Yeah.
We have to remember too that Mary's a bit of a starseed as well, and those connections are going to be kind of here and there. So,
There's always something.
Now, did he say in this clip that where they were taking him?
No,
Taking
because
him
I had
home.
him
Yeah, home,
ask
but
where they were taking him, and he was told to
Oh.
lead the way, and so he
Okay.
leads the way.
The bothersome part with that was his emotions at that point, because he felt a heaviness, and I thought, is he feeling this way
Mm-hmm.
about leaving here, or
Or
about,
going there.
yeah, does he miss his home there?
Which
or
is usually the case,
home
right?
here?
Which is usually the case.
Yeah, it's usually they miss there. So
I mean, not all the time, but
yeah, I really want to know.
What I do know is he found out a lot about some of his experiences, the reasons for them, how he feels about his spirituality, why he's dealt with some of the things in life that he has, and, got some answers for some long-standing
Good.
questions. Which is the point of regression, is to put you on that
Mhm.
path you're supposed to be walking so that you continue to raise the vibration
Right.
and walk it.
Right.
And that's an awesome thing.
Yeah, and I don't think I know anybody who's truly had an experience and not come out more spiritual. And if they were already, I was already on a spiritual path, it really opened up a lot more for me spiritually,
Mm-hmm.
in many areas. So, I can see that it would do that to him or for him.
Yeah.
That's awesome. But again, I was a little troubled that he had that emotional response. That's the mom in me. What can I say?
But do you think it was a bad
Yeah.
emotion? Or?
Well, it was a heaviness for him. So to me, that tells me he was sad. He was either regretting leaving or regretting not being there. There was something sad and heavy for him.
That's why people say, "I come to you with a heavy heart," right?
Yeah.
And Mary's laughing away up
That's
there.
what they do.
Yeah, leave it
We're
tarts.
waxing poetic, and Mary's up there going,
All right. So for this next one, he finds himself on a beach, and when he asks the being like why he's there, the being tells him that this is where he comes to make his decisions.
okay.
It's almost like the shore of an island. And it's a shore. You can see mountains beyond forest line, but there's like a beach shore.
Ask them what the purpose of the beach is, why you're there.
You've been here before. These are the places where decisions are made.
Ask them what part of the place the decisions are made.
Points at my heart.
And what type of things are you deciding?
And you're here for a purpose.
Ask them what purpose you're here for.
Pointing at the sky, holding a globe.
What's so important about the sky? Ask them for me what kind of things you're going to be doing that will be connected with the sky.
It's like I'm seeing stars. Just the black, countless stars in the sky now.
And why are the stars so important?
I said we've reached an agreement.
And what agreement is that?
You are the vessel for many lives. The pre-awakened. No idea what that awakened.
All right, so I'm going to give you some cool feedback why I found the star thing so interesting. So, part of the interview process, he told me that he'd want to know if I picked up on anything psychically because he's never had a psychic reading. So, he'd be interested to see if I picked up anything from that aspect too. So, before we started the regression, I started channeling some things and I didn't show him. And I told him, said, this is all the stuff that I've channeled. I said, I'm not going to show you anything because I don't want it in your head. And so the main things that I channel, the first thing was I saw 3 grays that were like spirit guides type with him. And then I saw an older spirit, and my first take was like Palladian type, but I can't guarantee if it was extraterrestrial. But what I saw was, a really tall man with a beard. But I saw him more in white. And he told me, he goes, the stars are going to come up and you're going to have to point out the stars to him and ask him why it's so important for the stars. Because he's going to need to know what's important about the stars.
Wow.
So when they pointed to the stars, that intrigued me. I found that very, very interesting.
Wow. I'm sitting here with goosebumps.
Mm-hmm.
That's cool.
And then I'm starting to talk about, it's all about the pre-awakened. So, and that's what I've been, I had a past life regression a long time ago. And she told me I was here from the beginning of time, that I was placed here, that I've been here through many, many lives, and I was placed here. I wasn't born here. So it made me think back to like things like that, like the pre-awakened.
I just had a conversation sort of like this yesterday with some other friends, and one of my friends said that those of us here now are the advanced players.
Yeah. I mean, it makes sense.
Maybe you four. I don't know about me.
Well, I mean, I think a lot of, since we've been around so long and from somewhere else, I think we're also here to try to raise these vibrations and get this evolution going too. Oh, just pre-awakened to fully awakened, Yeah. So
yeah, that's amazing. Totally amazing. I found that whole clip to be highly emotional.
Did he know that so he came to you knowing he had this experience with Grandpa? Yes, he remembered that.
Yep, that was it.
So this
That's
is
all he
all
remembered.
new to him too, as far as the detail.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, because I think the most of his experiences when it comes to, extraterrestrial related was just, seeing what he thought might be UFOs here and there. Other than that, that was his only memory, was when he was a child.
Okay.
But he's obviously had very strong connections.
And here we go with the 3 grays again. Remember, everybody sees them in 3,
That's the universal number, the 3.
I have a painting by Brian that 3 of them there. There's 3 of them.
369.
Yeah.
It's always in 3s.
The magic triad.
Mm-hmm.
Now I'm getting really deep. I better shut up.
Oh, no, that's
Well, I don't know who this is, but I hope that he comes to UFO contact.
Me too.
Because, I mean, he's an advanced soul. And I think he has a lot of worldly, universal knowledge, that maybe he hasn't even tapped into. If he's now discovering that part of him, man, he's got some stuff coming his way.
That he does. Yeah. And I think that was the purpose of this whole regression, was to show him just enough to keep pushing him forward, because I had tons of questions and we were probably about an hour, 15 minutes, an hour and a half in. And all of a sudden he pulled himself out of it. He goes, I'm done. So, okay. But I think it was, I had the whole list of questions. We'll save it for next time. But I think it was because the questions I was about to ask were things that he wasn't completely ready for. Not until he processes all of
Who
this.
can blame him?
first.
You know,
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And
a lot.
I'm not going to say, but I think I know who this is. And if it's who it is, he's pretty connected.
Okay, we'll talk during the next clip.
Yeah, thanks a lot, RJ.
Well, I can't say it, you know.
Honestly, I feel
No.
it's better if we don't know.
Deb,
Just,
Deb, down there, you and I can just be in the dark over here. In
Okay.
our states in Michigan.
Down here in Indiana.
That's right. Up
Yeehaw.
here in Wisconsin. Scotty.
So I want to know, did anybody else, I mean, I literally emotionally struggled with that last clip. Did anybody else feel that intense emotion?
I did. I didn't struggle with it,
Yeah.
but I got it.
Yeah, I understood it, but I didn't.
But I didn't like I wasn't brought to tears or anything like that.
Yeah.
But I think that's probably why he put the kibosh on more when he shut it off when he did.
Overload, yeah.
Because he overloaded. Yeah.
And I think it's, what the heck's that? Anyway.
I don't know. That's the second time I've heard it.
Yeah. Anyway, I think because he's not showing a ton of emotion yet, there's a ton of information being revealed. That makes it less like, dramatic for us, the listener.
Yeah.
But,
I love this regression. I mean, and I'm not knocking any regression, but some of them, are almost like, is it real or is it Memorex? You know what I mean? I just feel so real with this one. I really do. Like, there is no way. I don't feel there's any way that this person is like making up or fabricating any part of this.
And now that we know, sorry, Dana, now that we know that he, this is just new information coming out, it's pretty cool. Oh, sorry. What are you going to say, Dana?
You're lucky you're in a different state, RJ. No, I'm kidding. I was just going to say, it feels like this has been nagging him for a very long time. And I think he's been avoiding a lot of things. And that must be me picking up on whoever this is. But it feels like there was many years of pulling back, like not wanting to get too close to it.
Yeah.
He was probably still having things happen every now. He feels very. So yeah, I feel genuine about him as well. Like very genuine. Like I don't think he's misconstruing anything yet that I've heard. He's kind of say it like he saw it. So good for him for like at least trying to come to terms with it. He could be like me.
Yeah.
There's
we're not all
perfect.
Anyway, play more, please.
So for this next one, I asked more about like what pre-awakened means, and I asked for him to be taken back. I wanted him to be taken back to where he came from.
Who are the pre-awakened?
He's just laughing at me.
And so what happens next?
He put his hand up to his mouth like he's shushing.
And then what happens?
He put his arm around me and says, I've been following you.
And how long has he been following you?
Always.
And why does he follow you?
He said we all need teachers.
And so he's your teacher?
Many teachers.
Have you known him before you were a child?
Yes.
Okay, so what I'd like to do next, I want you to ask him for me to take you to where you've come from. And on the count of 3, he's going to take you where you've come from so you can see clearly. And on the count of 3, you're going to be where he was taking you, which will be where you come from. 1, 2, 3.
Mary.
Honestly,
I kind of saw that coming.
Interesting.
Yeah, I know. Every time she counts, it's like, don't stop it.
dang it.
Oh, that one was emotional too. Good grief.
And he's known him before.
So
this
it
is
makes
not
me
his
wonder
first-
how many lifetimes he's
right.
lived.
He's not his first rodeo, that's for
Right.
sure. So,
Uh-uh.
with that being said, again, like I was saying, like I really feel like this has been nagging him or plaguing, if that's a better word. There's probably like little memories and little things that have been happening to him this whole time.
Right.
Push it away, push it away, push it away. So for him to come to you for that is a pretty big step. So there must be a reason.
Was that Red Hot Chili Peppers? Push it away, push it away. Just
Yeah, I know. I give it away. I think it
give
is.
away it. That was fun.
Sorry, audience.
That was cool. I liked it.
I'm a firm believer that things happen when they're supposed to, and I think that right now he is ready, totally ready,
Mm-hmm.
and it's because he is needed.
Mhm.
The information is needed. It's time. It's definitely time. And again, I mean, he just feels like a really old soul. And again, during this clip, I just wanted to hug him and cry with him. So,
What was really wild was what's the movie with Jodie Foster? Contact. And she met it on a beach too. Remember that?
Lots of beach action going on in the
Yeah,
alien
a lot of
world.
beach. Yeah, that's right.
That's right, because they're coming from the oceans
Yeah, that's true.
and the lakes.
Right.
That's just a
Mhm.
Dana thing. I'm not
Yeah.
saying that's for sure. But
oh no, I totally believe some of
everybody's
them
looking up. You look down.
look
You're right.
everywhere. For sure.
Well, I've done regression work where, they've said that they stay by water because it energizes them. They need it.
I believe that.
Makes sense. Yeah. Yeah. And with
Mhm.
Houghten Lake being the largest inland lake in Michigan, and of course, Michigan is surrounded by water, what's a more perfect place? They're everywhere here. I mean, if you go out and really ask to see them, you're going to see them in this area. That's all there is to it.
We see them in my area without asking.
Right.
Like I did with Rowan at Old World, Wisconsin. It was just right there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Everybody's down looking at their phones and walking along. And he's like, "What is that?" And I'm like, "I have no idea." It was big.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody seemed to notice it but us and one little girl.
And statistics say that you do live next to the county that has the most sightings. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yippee for me.
Yeah.
It's where I grew up. No wonder I'm weird.
So, are we going to find out this week where?
For this next clip, now this is my favorite one. This is
that means no.
I think I find it interesting because I've never heard of it, to be honest. Yeah, so I'm going to let you listen to it, but he describes where he came from, but he also describes where we all come from.
Oh,
Do you know where you are?
It's the living streams.
You're at the living streams? Ask him why it's important for you to see the living streams.
This is where we came from.
And then what happens next?
He says this is where we came from. We're all here. We've been here, and they will be here again.
And so is that sort of like when we get to reincarnate?
the space between.
Okay, so what happens next?
And I'm like up in the sky above the stream now, looking down, and I can see people that I don't recognize, but when I was on the ground I thought that it was like family that I didn't recognize.
When you're floating in the sky, where are you going?
It's like a singular source of light in the center, being pulled towards that.
Okay. And on the count of 3, you're going to be on the other side of that light. 1, 2, 3. And you're on the other side of the light. What do you see?
Men in black. Like suits and sunglasses.
Why don't you ask them for me what they're doing there?
Taking up guardianship.
Guardianship over who?
The human race.
The who?
This gets better and better.
What?
Oh, the
The
human,
human
race.
Oh,
race.
okay. I couldn't make out what he said, that very last word.
So let's go back. He said we came from a stream.
Yeah, like, so the way he described it was, so it's a waterfall with a stream, and that's the place we all go before we reincarnate. So I found that very interesting. They weren't going to give me where he was actually from. I get a little bit more out of next week's episode. They give a little bit more of a hint how to break it down and, where to find it. And we talked about that after his regression. We can talk about that more next week, but, trying to locate the constellation that he's from. That's about as far as they would give us. But again, I don't think he was quite ready, for the rest of it. But I just like the description. Like, this is where we all go.
And again, there's water.
And our mothers carry us in water.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
So no wonder they're hanging out at water.
Yeah.
And we're 60% water.
It's a giant womb.
Sometimes I think I'm more 80.
Yeah. My feet would argue that too.
Ankles. Yeah.
Yes. He was in the sky looking down and saying that, about recognizing the people or not recognizing, I could think as above, so below. It was like he's connected both ways, above and below, but he doesn't quite recognize when he's in between.
Gotcha.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
But yet he talked about the in between.
Mm-hmm.
That's kind of where we hang out until we reincarnate. I think he was saying somewhere in between. Yeah.
But the freaking men in black.
Yeah, where does that come in?
Yeah, I was like, what?
Well, it makes me wonder, like, maybe that's the process that starseeds go through, right? So when you get to reincarnate to do it all over again, you have to get processed through the men in black.
Yeah, maybe they don't allow us to get off in this place and make sure that we get replaced back into where we came from. Maybe they're like the reincarnation police.
They're gonna haul you into the reincarnation station.
Yeah. Where do you think you're going, mister? No, you go back here.
Deb must have lost internet for a moment.
So
She'll be back.
She'll be back. What's
Rebooting.
that noise?
Well, that's her saying rebooting. She's got a thing.
No. What was that mechanical noise?
Yeah, I heard that too.
Did you have a truck go
Probably the men in black.
No, we didn't have a truck go by.
Did you guys hear it?
The guardians of the human race. I'm sorry. I'm lost there.
I don't know. I think
that's
somebody's
just,
been chit-chatting through this whole thing over the top.
Well, maybe in a sense that's the way they
Yeah.
see themselves. Maybe that's why they showed up at UFO
Yeah.
contact. Is they're watching
And it was
over
the first
everything, keeping everything just right, not too much
Yeah.
disclosure,
Yeah.
Yeah.
but just enough.
Yeah, and it was interesting because yes, it was the very first event. Nick Redfern, who had put out the book Men in Black,
Well, speaking on that.
was speaking on it. They showed up in the audience, just showed up. They didn't come in through a door. They never, they were just there. Hundreds of people saw them. And at the end, including Nick Redfern,
I don't remember them leaving.
they were gone. They didn't
I
go
love that
out
story.
a door. Nobody saw them leave. And we had people stationed at all the doors.
So the whole time I was sitting in the back watching everything.
Were they tall? Were they identical?
Yeah, they were tall. Yeah, they were tall. They
It
had
was hard to
these
tell
long
if they were
coats on.
identical
Because of
because
their
they look alike, but they had the black hats, the sunglasses, the black suits.
Yeah.
So if they take all that off, you
I
can
love
see.
that story so much. I wish I would have been there that year.
It was very interesting, and you
There's
never
our
know.
girl.
Welcome back, Deb.
There she is.
Sorry about that. The
That
universe
happens.
had other plans for me there for a minute, I guess. I don't know.
The 30-second and back program.
I guess.
So,
You never know when and where they're going to show up.
Yeah.
That's
but
the
like I said, they
interesting
might be
thing.
he might be right. There's some kind of a overseer of
Mhm.
what goes on.
Yeah, and you don't know. I would assume they have to be the way they show up and disappear, interdimensional,
When do they show up?
And
When people
not
have
really human.
experiences and sightings. You didn't see nothing. You sure? No, you didn't see
Yeah. Yeah.
I'll be like, yes, I did.
nothing. No, you didn't. All of a sudden, you get a
Well,
flash.
working in the paranormal, and all of you have done that as well.
Mhm.
So often, for so many years, I get reports on the Hat Man.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
Batman.
I've heard
The
that.
Hat Man.
Yeah.
Every nursing home that I've
A fedora
Done
too,
with.
right?
usually,
Usually,
yes.
yeah.
Usually it's a fedora. Sometimes I've had a top hat.
Top
Yeah.
hat. We have
Right.
here in Kokomo, it's the Hat Man. He's got a big top hat.
Mhm. Yeah, we get both. But it's always, nursing homes, even schools. The kids see them through the windows, homes. This is a big thing. And I've wondered more than once, is there a connection between, the Hat Man, the shadow people, and Men in Black?
Well, I have a friend who doesn't believe in anything like this. That came to me, this is years ago, probably 10 years ago, 12 years ago. He woke up with the Hat Man standing on his bed, one leg on either side of his legs. And it was like wind was blowing, and he had a big jacket, and he had the fedora, and he was there for quite a while, and he couldn't move. He was like
Yikes.
this. So I'm
Yeah,
like, I don't know why he would have came in that intimidating, but I don't really know what shadow people are. I'm not going to sit here and say it's definitely alien, but you never know what it is.
Right, and our
We
Men in
don't know what
Black
they are.
alien, I think they're interdimensional.
My mother
Yeah.
had an experience with it too. In the house, a man with a fedora hat came at night while she was sleeping right to the doors, open door thing. And so you hear it all the time.
But there's also many reports of the Men in Black showing up and just talking to you. And
At the door, they come knock at the door like they're little businessmen, and then
Yeah,
they
so-
grill you about things. Yeah.
so what are they?
There's a knock at the door.
And are they all the same?
I've been waiting for you. Sorry. Argy and I are having a music fest.
Sorry, I can't do that.
Three's Company song that time. All right.
There's that tree again.
Anyway.
Well, so is that it, Mary?
That's it. That's all we have for
Here's a wee
tonight.
suggestion, Mary, when you're going, if you go through this for any reason, like later on, I don't know if you ever go back and listen to these or whatever, I heard quite a bit of mumbling going on in the beginning, and then that mechanical noise a couple times. I'd like to debunk it, and I don't know if I
Yeah.
can do it from my end, but you've got, maybe after the show or something. But there's so much more stuff chit-chatting the last couple times, and we keep just kind of blowing it off. I
Yeah.
think it really needs to be revisited because we might be missing something that's coming through for some reason.
Some information.
Yeah.
Yep.
Very good possibility.
And, we could invite all of our listeners to put some earbuds
That
or
actually
some
would be
headphones on
helpful. Yeah.
and really listen to some of
And
this
then if
background
you
stuff.
have an idea, like, because Mary, you're sitting in front of like a parking lot or something right there, aren't you? So there's a road out there. So I'm thinking maybe what I was hearing mechanical wise was like a loud truck going by. But it sounded weird.
But that doesn't
The Morse code.
no, that too, but you said little chattering or mumbling or something, right?
Yeah, that mumbling stuff was more like somebody talking.
I think it's Deb Cobble.
That's what I was just going to say that.
Not me.
She has all her alien friends with her.
I don't know. I got somebody with me here the last few days. I don't know what, but I don't know.
What?
What the hell is that?
Do you hear that?
Yeah, I can hear that.
What am I hearing?
Boop, 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 boop.
That's my phone.
Oh, girl.
Oh,
No, my friend's calling me about her something, and I have it on silent, but it must be on vibrate.
The first time
I debunked that one. That was
the
me.
first time I can hear
still
one of
going.
those weird
I can't believe
noises.
you even heard that. I barely heard it.
I could hear it.
Y'all
Really
are like,
loud. What?
So disregard that one.
They're really telling us off now.
well, another interesting show. This was pretty.
Yeah.
It was great. We had somebody new, and it was just different than some of the other ones a little bit.
Right.
Yeah, and thank you to him for not only, digging in for himself, but for the betterment of the whole.
That's right.
And I do want to hug this guy.
Well, all right. You guys have a good night. A big thanks to you and the person that was your guest.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you, everybody.
Love you all.
See you next week.
Bye.
We're the voices of experiencers, and we are the experiencers of extraterrestrials. Just what's out there in the abyss, in the darkness of the unknown. It's time for disclosure, and it's time for truth, because what lies in the darkness brings powerful transformation. We're the bridge between two different worlds, with one foot in this reality and one in the next. The shift is here, along with profound integration. Just who are extraterrestrials, and what are their plans? It's time to find out with the Voices of Contact.